All right, let's talk about a huge shift happening in AI development, especially if you're a Mac user. For what feels like forever, there's been this massive hardware wall standing in the way of doing serious AI work. Well, guess what? That wall is finally coming down. So let me just ask you this straight up. Is a $1,700 GPU the one thing holding back your AI ambitions? Because for so many developers out there, the answer, until right now, was a super frustrating yes.
And yeah, that's all because of what I'm calling the GPU gatekeepers. See, to do any of the really cool, high-performance stuff with large language models, especially with the engines that all the pros use, you absolutely had to have this crazy, expensive, specialized hardware that just eats electricity for breakfast.
I mean, the difference was just night and day. On one side, you've got the pro AI setup, right? A big rig, an NVIDIA GPU that cost anywhere from $1,700 to, more than a used car. It's loud, it's hot, but it got you through the door. It gave you access to the golden ticket, vllm. And on the other side, well, that was all the Mac developers. You've got this beautiful, affordable, super efficient machine, but you were stuck on the outside looking in, locked out. Well, until now.
Because that whole dynamic, it just got flipped on its head. Thanks to the team at Docker, that all changes. Literally today.
So here's the solution we've all been waiting for. With the brand new update to the Docker Model Runner, the super powerful vllm inference engine is now unlocked for any Mac with Apple Silicon. I mean, this isn't just a small update. This completely changes the game for anyone doing AI development on a Mac.
Okay, so why is this such a big deal? What even is vllm? Well, think of it as the go-to engine for running language models fast. But the real magic, the reason it's the industry standard, is its OpenAI-compatible API. And what that means for you is that the code you write and test on your laptop can be picked up and run on a giant cloud server cluster with basically no changes. It's a seamless workflow.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth did they do this without one of those giant power-sucking GPUs? Well, the answer is some seriously clever engineering that takes advantage of a core piece of Apple Silicon, the Metal framework. Let's dig into how it actually works.
The secret sauce here is something called unified memory. Now think about it like this. On older systems, the CPU and GPU each had their own separate little workbench. To do anything, you had to waste a ton of time slowly carrying data from one bench to the other. It's super inefficient. But with Apple Silicon, it's like having one giant, high-speed workbench that both the CPU and GPU share. They can pass things back and forth instantly, there's no slow copying, and for AI stuff, that is an absolute game changer.
So here's how the folks at Docker and the vllm project put that unified memory to work. First, they were smart. They didn't touch the core vllm engine. That's crucial for keeping everything compatible. Instead, they built this new plugin called vllm-metal that basically acts as a translator for Apple Silicon. Under the hood, it uses Apple's own MLX framework to do the heavy lifting and PyTorch to load the models. The whole thing then runs directly on Apple's Metal GPU layer, getting every last drop of performance out of that unified memory architecture.
Okay, so that's the tech, but what does it actually mean for you as a developer? Well, it means we're about to completely rewrite the rulebook on what a powerful AI dev machine is supposed to cost.
$599. Seriously, that's what a base model Mac Mini costs. And thanks to all this work, that is now your new entry fee for a totally viable, high-performance vllm dev environment. It's incredible. It's making this powerful tech accessible to so many more people. So think about what this unlocks for your actual workflow. You can now build and test really complex AI apps right on the same machine you're writing code on. No more jumping between computers. And remember that API we talked about? You're using the exact same one as the giant production clusters, so going from your local machine to the cloud is suddenly a piece of cake. Oh, and you're doing all of this while sipping power compared to a big old GPU rig. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but what about the performance? Is it actually fast? And that's a fair question. So let's be real about it. The Docker team ran some benchmarks, putting their new vllm-metal backend head-to-head with another really popular engine, llama.cpp. Let's look at the numbers.
All right, if you look at the raw numbers here for throughput, that's tokens per second, llama.cpp is consistently faster. We're talking about 1.2 to 1.3 times faster pretty much across the board. Now, both of them scale great, but if we're just talking about pure raw speed in this one test, yeah, llama.cpp has the edge right now.
But, and this is the really important part, this isn't just about winning a speed race. The real prize here isn't a benchmark number. It's getting access to the entire VLM ecosystem. It's about being able to finally develop locally using the exact same production-ready API that the whole industry is building on. That is the massive door that just got kicked wide open for Mac developers.
And you know what makes this even better? The whole thing was done completely in the open, for the community. So let's talk about how you can jump in and get started right now.
Yeah, this quote from the Docker team really says it all. They could have kept this for themselves, right? Made it proprietary, but they didn't. They built it, and then they gave the entire vllm-metal project right back to the VLM community. It's now an official part of the project on GitHub, so any developer can use it, learn from it, and even help make it better.
And getting started is, well, it's ridiculously easy. As long as you have Docker Desktop, you just pop open your terminal and run this one single command. That's literally it. You are now ready to start running high-performance language models right there on your Mac.
So, let's wrap it up with this thought. The cost barrier? Shattered. The platform barrier? Gone. The tools you need to build absolutely world-class AI applications are now open to anyone with a modern Mac. The gatekeepers are gone. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?